Makati Shangri-La's doors are open again after over 2 years of temporary closure due to low business levels. We find out more about the hotel's revival from ShangriLa Group Philippines Vice President for Operations, John Rice. John, welcome to The Final Word and congratulations.
Great. Thanks very much, Rico. It's great to be here with you, and I mean it's been an incredibly amazing
Wow,
day.
it looks like a big sigh of relief.
Oh, it was, yeah. Well, not just
John?
for me, but I think for a lot of guests as well.
I know, for old and new guests. Finally,
exactly.
it has reopened after more than 2 years of closure.
Exactly.
Everyone was hoping and praying when will be the time that Shangri-La Makati will be reopening its doors. And now's the time.
Well, it's been 2.5 years, and you know, certainly when we temporarily suspended operations back in 2021, the intention was always to reopen, and now that's today, the 8th of August. So it's incredible. It's been a long time, and there's a lot of relief.
It's an auspicious month, an auspicious day.
Exactly.
8/8.
Exactly.
2023. So how are the crowds today?
Crowds were great. It was good to see a lot of familiar faces. In talking to the colleagues at the hotel, a lot of familiar faces came through the front doors. In fact, we officially opened it at 8:08 this morning.
8:08.
And there were 4 people waiting to come in, and they sat in their favourite seat in the lobby lounge. So that was fantastic.
Okay, at least we know that the lobby lounge is now open. Which other food establishments can old and new guests eat in now that the hotel has reopened?
Well, the openings will be a gradual ramp up, and that will progress through until Q4 this year and, of course, Q1 next year. But in terms of outlets, dining outlets, we have our Shang Palace, which is reopening.
A famous Chinese restaurant.
Famous Chinese restaurant for authentic Cantonese cuisine and lovely dim sum. And, of course, we have Sage Grill. There'll be a strong focus there on fish, on meat, very simply done, great presentation, heaps of flavour. And we've got a new bread that will be serving guests that will become everyone's firm favourite very quickly.
What about the famous buffet restaurants, Circles? When will that reopen, or has it already opened?
Circles will reopen in Q4 of this year. Reopening Makati Shangri-La, and I'm sure you're familiar with the property. It's a big hotel, so of course we couldn't open the doors and have all services and facilities available immediately. So we've prioritised that, and we've prioritised on areas where we feel that guests would most look forward to. And of course, Circles will open in time for our Christmas tree lighting and the Christmas season.
Well, everyone will be looking forward to that. But what was really the path, John, in reopening Makati Shangri-La after more than 2.5 years of closure due to the pandemic? When was that decision made? It's time to reopen the hotel.
It wasn't. First of all, it wasn't an easy decision to temporarily suspend operations. So the thought's been at the back of our mind since that day on when we would reopen. If we look at the economic indicators here in the Philippines, they're projecting upwards. They're trending upwards. Very positive for the last few quarters. And also the recent news in July. Visitor arrivals in the Philippines, international visitor arrivals, have hit 3 million, and the target for this year is I believe 4.8 million. So that's a great indicator.
What was the another indicator? The success and the occupancy rates of Shang Fort. You also had EDSA Shang and EDSA in Boracay and Mactan, which never closed, by the way.
Never closed, exactly. We operate 3 large hotels, including Makati Shangri-La and Manila. We've got our 2 resorts. Business levels are back almost to 2019. And the general consensus when you look at the hospitality industry in the Philippines is it's a very optimistic outlook, and business is trending very well.
Okay, definitely leisure is on the uptrend. Staycations, a lot of travelers from here and overseas. What about business travel? Is it back to pre-pandemic levels? Because Makati Shangri-La is also a business hotel.
Exactly. Business and corporate travel is trending upwards. Leisure, of course, took a big kick when it came to the pandemic, and is an incredibly growing market. There is a new market with leisure travel where business travel is combined with leisure travel. So that collectively together is starting to represent a very large segment. Corporate travel itself, we've noticed that frequency of travel has come down a little bit, but the length of stay has increased. And of course, a destination like the Philippines, with the domestic market that the Philippines has, it's just growing and growing.
696 total rooms at the Makati Shangri-La are all now available for occupancy.
They will be available progressively. Given the size of the property and the length of the downtime that we've had to bring a lot of colleagues on board to prepare the property again. When we did temporarily suspend operations, we had a core group of colleagues that maintained the property. But since then, now that we're reopening, we have to ramp up slowly, because one of our intentions is to make sure that sort of nostalgic feel, the elevated levels of service and the luxury of Makati Shangri-La is retained. And we want to make sure that everybody that comes through the front doors of Makati Shangri-La get to experience that from day one. So the ramp up will be progressive, and that will be in terms of our guest rooms, that will be in terms of our food and beverage outlets.
So out of the 696 hotel rooms, how many rooms are now available for occupancy?
We'll be opening with our horizon floors initially, and that represents a large percentage of our inventory. And then we will progressively go into suites and the lower category floors, which will be our deluxe rooms. And those floors target, our conference and incentive market.
And so far, the rooms that are open for occupancy, are they already fully booked?
Fully booked.
Until when?
Hopefully they'll continue to be fully booked.
Okay, so a lot of rooms, in the hundreds I'm sure, are now currently occupied. Some of your food establishments. What new innovations, what new facilities can old and new guests expect from the Makati Shangri-La now that you have reopened your doors?
Well, first of all, we went through a number of challenging years, and therefore we've had to strike a fine balance with the areas that we focus on. So what we've done is we've prioritised those guest-facing areas that we feel will have the biggest impact on the guest experience. As a result,
facing Ayala Avenue.
Ayala and Makati Avenue.
Makati Avenue.
Both avenues. And the fountain.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've made sure all the guest rooms will go through progressively a comprehensive preventive maintenance program. Given our location in the Makati Business District, corporate business has always been one of our focal points. So we'll be introducing what we call a Horizon Business Room. And that will be an incredible room. I tried one out the other day, and we're putting in an ergonomic desk, an adjustable desk, ergonomic chair, twin monitors, speakerphone, great keyboard, nice mouse. And we're gradually targeting more of those rooms for our business clientele.
From February of 2021 all the way up until August of 2023, a lot of upgrades and new technologies have already been introduced during the pandemic.
Exactly. I think one of the benefits of the pandemic, if there was a benefit out of it, was the accentuation of IT and automation, and we've been able to harness some of that, and some of that will be on display in Makati Shangri-La.
So with technological innovations, it will give a new look and feel, especially for the business travelers.
Definitely, and I think it'll allow people to serve themselves the way they want to be served, and determine the level of service they want. But we're using that as a way to improve the level of service and improve our guest stay, our overall guest experience.
What about, that's for the business travelers, what about for the leisure travelers? The staycationers who would like to stay at the Makati Shangri-La over the weekend. What new experiences?
Yeah, I think what we did notice, one of the trends over the pandemic was that people's priorities changed, and you're right. One of those priorities is now leisure travel, me time and family time. We've got incredible facilities at Makati Shangri-La. We've got a beautiful swimming pool, got our tennis courts, we've got our health club. We're right in the middle of Makati Shopping District, so there's a lot of services and facilities that families can use and enjoy. And of course, we'll have circles at the end of the year, our famous buffet that people can have a lovely breakfast and enjoy lunch and dinner.
And of course, over the past several years, we have a lot of hotel properties always focusing now on sustainability. What initiatives has Makati Shangri-La initiated in terms of sustainability programs now that you have reopened?
We have a big target on single-use plastics, so guests will notice an amenities change in the guest rooms. We've also installed 2 EV chargers in our basement level, so for those guests who drive electric cars, they can park in our garage and recharge. We're also introducing plant-based menus in some of our outlets and plant-based dishes. So we're taking a nod towards that angle of tourism and that angle of leisure, and that will just become part of our everyday fabric in how we operate the hotel.
And what about community-driven activities? Which measures or programs are you initiating for the community in Makati?
Well, you know, Makati Shangri-La has been open for in excess of 30 years, and we've really appreciated the support of the community. So one of our targets now that we're open is to re-immerse ourselves into the community. And one of the steps, or one of the directions that we've taken with that is we've partnered with the University of Makati, and we've set up a vocational program and an internship program with a view of being able to employ graduates from that university moving forward.
And a lot of analysts are saying, particularly the hotel watchers, saying that with the closure of Makati Shangri-La, you have been left behind. But now that you have reopened, are you now back surging to the top?
We're surging to the top. I think it's great to see all hotels doing well, because if we take that ecosystem approach and all hotels do well, we can help each other, learn off each other, and that's great for business in the Philippines.
Thank you so much
Pleasure.
for joining us on The Final Word, and congratulations on the reopening of Makati Shangri-La.
Thank you very much, and it's great to have the hotel open again.
John Rice, Vice President for Operations of the Shangri-La Group, Philippines.
Thank you very much, Rico.